What is up, Broncos Country? It's your boy Cy, lifelong Broncos fan from Hawaii. As always, we're going to be talking about the Denver Broncos today after our seemingly lackluster preseason game yesterday. I'm going to mention in this video how, despite the sloppy performance overall by the Denver Broncos, Broncos Country still needs to be excited for the 2026 season. So hopefully, if you're feeling a little bit down after that loss to the Packers last night, just listen to your boy Cy. I'm gonna tell you to calm down. Everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to go according to plan, regardless. Okay. Though these are some main takeaways from the game yesterday. All right. Bo Nix looks fantastic. I know there are several detractors coming out today trying to tell you that his ankle did not look back to 100%. Clearly, that is not the case. All right. So those people take with a massive, massive grain of salt. Jaylen Waddle made his presence felt in his first preseason action. It took, one game-changing route for Jaylen Waddle to show you exactly why the Denver Broncos traded a first-round pick for him rather than getting a rookie wide receiver who would not help us in our current Super Bowl window at all. Jaylen Waddle is absolutely going to be a game wrecker from the moment he steps on the field for the Denver Broncos. We also are going to talk about RJ Harvey and how drafting Jonah Coleman and bringing back J.K. Dobbins allows RJ Harvey to do what he is best at, and that is catching the ball out of the backfield. We're also going to talk about Q Robinson, who was in the quarterback's face all game long yesterday, which is very great to see considering the fact that we still don't know what's going to come of the Jonathan Cooper situation. Q Robinson, if Jonathan Cooper does serve any sort of suspension or get punished or anything, Q Robinson is going to step up, and he proved that last night. We're going to talk about the comparisons from this preseason to last preseason. I hope nobody's acting like the sky's falling. I really do. Because last preseason, we looked a whole lot worse starting offense-wise. So, guys, everything is going to be okay. Now, that does not mean everything is sunshine and rainbows. Of course, we got the Stiddy conversation that we need to have. Dude was ice cold yesterday. And then, of course, Riley Moss got banged up. Anyone who watches the Altitude Report, we are predicting Riley Moss to have a redemption arc this season. Go watch my video on that. But he got hurt. He got a rib injury. We don't know the specifics yet. But we're going to, give you some updates on that. Whatever we know, you will know. And then, of course, guys, at the end of the day, okay, it is preseason. It's still preseason, all right? We're going to be just fine. Just settle down, all right? Tranquilo, calm down. Calm down, all right? Let's get into some of the stuff that I have been meaning to show you. All right, we are going to start here with Bo Nix. First two drives back from his ankle injury against the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs. He went 6 for 9 for 76 yards, a touchdown, 129.9 passer rating. Anyone who tells you anything negative about Bo Nix, his performance last night, how the ankle looked, anything like that, this is exactly why you shouldn't listen to everybody, bro. Bo Nix looked fantastic. He looked fantastic last night. Anyone who watches that performance, especially coming back from an ankle, thinking that performance was bad in any way, they clearly don't understand ball, right? So Bo Nix comes back from the ankle, has a 129.9 passer rating in his first action on the field since the injury. So he's only going to progress further by the time we get to that Chiefs game to open the season. So it's going to be fine, all right? Bo Nix is going to be fine. He's in year 3. Last night, he already looked more decisive. He already looked like, somebody who's been doing this for years, right? He looked like a true vet. He knows where to go with the football, right? Year 3 is when it starts clicking. We hear this all the time from franchise quarterbacks. Tom Brady said it. Peyton Manning said it. Dan Marino said it. Year 3 is when it clicks. This is year 3. It's going to click for Bo Nix. He's going to be just fine, okay? And if you don't believe me, this is where we were at last preseason, guys. Last preseason, Bo Nix was doing stuff like this, right? Where he kind of just drifts back way too much and then just throws a ball to nobody and gets a penalty in his own end zone, right? That was last preseason. So the progression of Bo Nix is off the charts. Dude's going to be fine. Let's relax. Okay? And then here, of course, is his touchdown pass he had last night to RJ Harvey. Wide open. Not even wide open. He wasn't even wide open. He just had a step on the backer there. And Bo Nix just drops it in the bucket. Perfect throw. Touchdown. Bo Nix is fine. I don't understand some of these people and their takes. Bo Nix is going to be fine. Our season is going to go exactly how we thought. Next up, we got Jaylen Waddle. You know, yesterday or 2 days ago, I made a video explaining how, you know, Jaylen Waddle changes everything for this offense, guys. He really does. And what did I point to? His yards after catch. Jaylen Waddle's yards after catch are something that we have not had in Denver in quite some time. Since like DT days, okay? Or Emmanuel Sanders. Jaylen Waddle changes everything for this offense. Look at this. So Jaylen Waddle gets open right away. Right here, he's open, and Bo Nix is already rearing back to throw the football, right? So he throws it. It's a little bit underthrown maybe. I don't know if Bo Nix thought somebody was going to come over the top. But he drops it in there in the bucket. And look at the moves Jaylen Waddle's able to put on to gain an extra 15 yards, right? Look at this. Beautiful. And then he has the speed to back it up. Jaylen Waddle is going to open up this entire offense for Davis Webb. And I can't wait to see what him and Bo Nix do together and the magic they create together in Mile High. And then, of course, we got my man RJ Harvey. Now, RJ Harvey is in a great position, if I'm being honest. A lot of people want to say, well, you know, we got 3 running backs now. It's going to be running back by committee. That's true. But what that allows is for J.K. Dobbins, RJ Harvey, and Jonah Coleman to all do what they're best at, right? J.K. Dobbins is great running between the tackles, running in the gaps, right? RJ Harvey, what is he best at? He's best at catching the football in space. He's an excellent route runner for a running back. So what this allows is RJ Harvey to do stuff like this. This was RJ Harvey. You know, he got a step on the backer here. So he gets open right here. If you watch him, there he is. He gets open. And Bo Nix just drops it perfectly in the bucket between, you know, before the safety can react to it and over the backer. And it's a beautiful throw, but it was a beautiful route as well by RJ Harvey. So RJ Harvey will be our, you know, pass catching running back. And I can't wait to see what he does in that role. He was great at it last season as a rookie. So year 2, RJ Harvey's only going to improve, guys. So I don't know if we'll have a running back that gets, you know, 1,000, 1,100, 1,200 yards, right? But I think as a room, our running back room is going to complement, you know, the rest of this offense very, very well. And then, of course, we got Patrick Surtain, the #1 corner in the NFL. He is already in season form, okay? Let's take a look at this. This is Patrick Surtain. So there, Jordan Love completes the pass. Patrick Surtain rips it out, causes a fumble. Beautiful. And to see our defense really trying to focus really heavily on creating turnovers, that was their one bugaboo from last season, but now it seems like they are really honing in on that football and trying to rip it out, trying to get interceptions, trying to create chaos, and I think it's going to bode so well for this defense. You know, it's a scary thing when you have a top 2 defense and they still had a little bit of work to improve, and they attacked the offseason with that mentality of, you know, we're not taking any prisoners, we're going to improve, right? So that's a little bit scary, thinking that the Broncos defense from last season just got even better. So I feel bad for opposing offenses. And then just in case you don't believe me from that clip, here is Patrick Surtain showing you exactly how he's approaching this year. There's Patrick Surtain there. Bang! Lays the wood on Christian Watson. This is starting on starting, guys. Like, Christian Watson is not a small receiver by any means, and Patrick Surtain just laid him out. And that is kind of a just an example of how our entire defense is attacking this 2026 season. And I love it. I love it. I think the whole defense needs to approach it with that kind of aggression. We already know that Talanoa Hufanga is going to approach it that way. And it's nice to see Patrick Surtain just sticking somebody. If PS2, who's the best corner in the game, just figured out how to use the hit stick button, brother, it's over. It's a wrap. Then we're going to get to Q Robinson. Guys, I told you, Q Robinson is, if something happens with Jonathan Cooper, which I don't know anything, none of us do. If something does happen with Jonathan Cooper, I feel great and I can sleep soundly at night knowing that we got Q Robinson in the wings. Look at this. Q Robinson was in the quarterback's face all game long yesterday. It was great to see. He had a bogus roughing the passer called on him, which was ridiculous. Hopefully the refs work out those kinks during the preseason, and by the time we get to the regular season, they don't make horrendous calls like that. But look at Q Robinson, man. He just slaps the hands away, gets around him. Kind of reminds me of not to say he's going to be the next DeMarcus Ware, but DeMarcus Ware used to do stuff like that when he was in Denver. And, I don't remember a time we've had a pass rushing unit, a pass rusher room this deep since Super Bowl 50. So this is great to see. Q Robinson, I think if, Jonathan Cooper gets suspended or whatever comes of that situation, I think Q Robinson is going to have a breakout moment. And then we move on. This is where things get a little bit negative. We're going to talk about Jarrett Stidham. Jarrett Stidham did not have a great night last night. I'm just going to start there. He went 9 of 15, 82 yards, a pick, 47.1 passer rating. That is not good. That is not good. So, but then the flip side of that conversation is, do you trust Ellinger to come in and lead the offense? I mean, I know we can't really trust Stidham all too much. Granted, the situation he was asked to step into last year in the AFC Championship game, that is an impossible situation. Like, I don't envy that guy in that moment at all. That must have been absolutely just, I can't imagine the emotions that must have been going through Stiddy's head, right? But it does warrant the conversation. Is our backup quarterback spot something that needs to improve? Because I don't know if we can trust Ellinger to step up in that scenario, right? He hasn't exactly lit the world on fire. Jarrett Stidham, right? Saw him last night, not great. Saw him last AFC Championship game, not great at all. And then not to mention the Denver Broncos actually save, I believe, it is like $3.5 million if they cut him, and they save $6.5 million if they trade Jarrett Stidham. So I think it's worth considering, man, to save that $6.5 million. The dude is he worth the pay he's getting? I don't know. I think it's a conversation worth having. And then we get to the Riley Moss. Oh, here was, just in case you didn't believe the stat line, this is Jarrett Stidham. This was a horrendous throw. I don't know what he was looking at here. So there's Jarrett Stidham. He throws to Lucas Kroll, and he just stared Lucas Kroll down the entire throw. So what I want you to do is I want you to look at Jarrett Stidham's head. See, he's already looking at Lucas Kroll. Look at Jarrett Stidham. He's already looking at him. Stares down Lucas Kroll the entire time, like any safety on planet Earth is going to read his eyes and pick that off. So I think it's worth having the conversation, right? He has an $8 million cap hit, but we save $6.5 million by trading him. I think it's worth at least thinking about. I don't know if it'll happen. Do you trust Ellinger or do you trust Stidham? I don't know, right? Neither one of them have me, fully confident that if Bo goes down, that, our season can stay afloat. So it's something worth thinking about. And then we're going to get into the Riley Moss injury. So Riley Moss left the game with a rib injury. He looked like he was in a lot of pain. Now, anyone who's an athlete knows or has been an athlete knows that when you hurt your ribs, it is a pain in the butt to come back from, right? Rib injuries affect almost the entire rest of your body. So, and the ribs are a very sensitive area. So if he broke his ribs, we're probably looking at anywhere from like 4 to 8 week timeline of Riley Moss being out. Now, if it's just like a bruise or whatever, hold him out and he'll probably be fine till, to play in week 1 against the Chiefs. So we just don't have enough information yet, but it is something that we need to keep our eyes out for, right? And then, of course, just to show you guys this, if anyone is upset or salty or in the sky is falling mode after our game yesterday against the Green Bay Packers, it could always be worse, guys, okay? We could have drafted J.J. McCarthy. Look at this. Wide open touchdown, and he just misses the throw, throws it towards his inside shoulder. The ball needs to come to the guy's outside shoulder, and it's an easy touchdown, but he misses it to the inside. Bo Nix makes that throw 10 times out of 10, right? So it could be worse, man. And, the last point that I will make, guys, it's preseason, okay? It is preseason. It's preseason, right? There's still some kinks that need to be worked out. There's some things that just aren't going to work out in the preseason. And then, of course, the defense, guys, they play cover 2 and cover 3. That's it. The defense shows nothing. The offense shows nothing. It is the most basic vanilla offense, the most basic vanilla defense that these coaches can run. And you saw the competitor in Vance Joseph. That's why he was standing on the sideline yesterday, completely PO'd at how the defense looked. And he wanted to blitz. He wanted to get out of this cover 2, cover 3 nonsense and run his defense because that's the competitor that our coaches are. But you can't put that on tape. You just don't want to put that on tape for other teams. And, this defense is going to be fine. They were playing the Packers, and like I said, 90% of the time they're in cover 2 or cover 3. Jordan Love eats up cover 2 and cover 3, right? So it's okay. It's going to be fine. It's preseason. What you saw yesterday, heck, even what you saw against the Falcons is not our true offense and our true defense. If we played the Falcons in the regular season, that game would have been like 40-0. Okay? Let's relax. Tranquilo. Let's calm down. We're going to be just fine, everybody. All right? Cy the Guy is here to tell you we're okay. The Denver Broncos are still on track. We're still exactly right where we want to be. We start off with a very tough 6-week schedule to begin the season, but man, I would rather have our tougher games at the beginning than the end. Right? That just means that we have a chance to hit the ground running, start fast. Heck, even if we go 3-3 to start the season, guess what? The rest of our schedule is set up beautifully. We're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. We will be playing in February, all right? All these other teams are vying for January. The Bills, the Chargers, don't make me laugh. The Chiefs, all the Patriots, who have an absurd amount of drama going on over there. The Broncos are not playing for January. We're playing to make it to February. We want to be playing in the Super Bowl. We don't care about the divisional round, the AFC Championship. No, we're making it to February, and anything less is not going to cut it. And that's how this team is approaching this 2026 to 2027 season, and you love to see it. You love to see it. Let me know what you guys thought of the game yesterday. Yes, it was a sloppy, sort of underwhelming performance, but at the end of the day, it's preseason. Everything's vanilla. You're going to deal with some stuff. Hopefully, Riley Moss gets back so he can, continue on this redemption arc of a season and get that bag and get paid at the end of it. And guys, Bo Nix, Jaylen Waddle, just think about that connection and how many tutties they're going to score, right? We're going to be fine. I'm going to get out of here. I'm Cy the Guy. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. We upload very frequently now, so if there's any sort of content you want to see, I may do a watch along for this third preseason game. Who knows? So let me know what you guys are thinking, and I will see you next time. We can all salute to that.